Do you ever have issues with neck tightness or stiffness or upper body? Kind of just, it feels stiff or uncomfortable. Sometimes you have little pain spots. If so, keep watching. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Sara. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am a family physician, a wife, a mom of 4, currently expecting number 5, and an exercise enthusiast. So I have had some neck pain and upper back pain, stiffness type issues over the years. And really this all started actually after my first baby. And I think a lot of it was related to breastfeeding. So I breastfed all 4 of my babies, and anyone that has breastfed or watched somebody breastfeed knows you spend quite a bit of time sort of with your head looking down. And that's not necessarily a great anatomic position for us because it puts different stresses on the shoulders and the neck that are not really meant to be there, on a regular basis. I think, people that feed babies in other ways, anybody that's taking care of a small baby, mom, dad, whoever, may also have issues with this because, again, regardless of what you're doing, a lot of your time may be spent sort of with your head down, especially if you're sitting, you're holding the baby like this, your head is down looking at them. Similarly, people that are sitting at a desk, whether it be at home, at work, you're sitting, you may have your head down, or you're looking at your cell phone, you're on your phone, your head is down. And so there's sometimes undue pressure that gets put on the neck and shoulder and upper back area that sometimes can ultimately lead to some pretty significant issues. Now, of course, if you're ever having pain, symptoms, you're not sure what's going on, you always want to go in to see your physician because they know you best. They can give you advice, do an appropriate workup, figure out what's going on, all the different things. But with my personal history of this, I wanted to share some stretches, gentle neck stretches that I do on a regular basis, especially when I'm pregnant, because again, when you're pregnant, the different hormones, your body is changing in various ways, and you can get some aches and pains that you may not have on a regular basis. And I think also some of these are also helpful for prevention because any stretching helps to increase the muscular flexibility and mobility, which can help decrease the risk of injury, when you are doing things like strength training or certain activities where you may put more, pressure on a certain area. So I'm gonna hop back to my mat here and get started. So the first thing I usually do is some range of motion neck exercises. So I start with bringing my chin to my chest, and it's always so important to make sure you're breathing. So I really focus on that 360 breathing. If you've watched any of my videos, I talk about this in almost every demo video, and I'll link it below. But you're inhaling, feeling those ribs expand in all directions, and then exhaling audibly, just like you would when you blow out birthday candles. And then you want to lift your chin up to the ceiling. And the important thing with stretching is when you're doing that deep breathing, with each exhale, you can think about, breathing into any area that feels tight or a little bit of discomfort. Anytime you're having pain, you want to stop and contact your personal physician or health professional, but sometimes with stretching, you can have a little bit of discomfort. Okay, so then we're out of that one. Then I take a look to the left, and with this part, you're sort of trying to get your chin over that left shoulder. And again, I'm talking here, but don't forget to breathe. Breathing is so crucial during any exercise activity, whether it's stretching, yoga, working out, harder cardio. And then we're going to twist to the other side. And I typically hold stretches anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute, sometimes even up to a minute and a half. I let my body sort of guide me. I always make sure it's equal if it's something where you're doing each side. But I sort of see how tight everything feels and adjust the length of time accordingly. Okay, the next one, I'm going to bend my neck to the left. So I'm going to take my left ear and gently bring it to my left shoulder. And once you get comfortable there, you can take that left arm just very, very lightly on your right ear to apply a little bit of pressure. And then to magnify it even more, you can take that right arm and stretch it out almost like you're reaching for something on the floor. And you just kind of reach out there. And again, you always want to be breathing. And if you imagine your breath going to the area that you're stretching, with each breath, the muscle will relax further. And then again, you want to be really gentle coming up there. And then same thing on the opposite side. So now we have right ear to right shoulder. Right hand is on the left ear. And then for a little bit more, if you need a little more, you can outstretch that left hand as if you're gonna kind of grab something off the floor. Again, you wanna be really gentle with this. You never wanna force stretches. You kind of wanna sit in it and breathe into it. Use your breath to really work through the stretch. Okay. The last neck specific one I do is some really gentle neck rolls. And I'll usually do 3 or 4 clockwise, and then 3 or 4 the other direction. And this, for me, feels really crunchy, but it's not painful. So if anything is ever, like you're hearing noises and it's painful, you definitely want to stop, call your doctor. But crunchy without pain is okay. All right, so on to some upper body, upper back stretches. This one is a little tricky, so I'm gonna try to go through it slowly. So I take both arms, I'm gonna wrap my left arm underneath my right, and if you have never done this stretch or you're very, very tight, this may be enough for you, and you may just stop here, and you should feel the stretch kind of almost underneath and in between your shoulder blades. If you feel like you have a little more flexibility, or after a few breaths you're ready, you can kind of wiggle those hands and get your fingers of your left hand on the palm of your right hand. And let me maybe twist a little so you can just see. This is kind of a little pretzel here. And then to magnify that stretch even further, you can take those elbows and sort of try to lift them up in front of your face. And this one I found was really helpful for those times where I was doing a lot of sitting and maybe not having the best posture and sort of, hunched forward. I felt like this really just stretches out that upper back area so nicely. Now after that one, I usually will do a couple of shoulder rolls because it just feels nice to sort of loosen those muscles up. So there I just did, 3 backwards, 3 forwards. So now again, of course, we're gonna do the other side. So now I'm taking my right arm underneath my left. And again, if you're newer to this kind of stretch, or you need some more time with your flexibility, you may be here, and that is absolutely okay. If you need a little more, you can take the fingers of the right hand inside the palm of the left hand, and then you can work on pulling those elbows up. And again, you want to, keep doing that breathing. Expand the ribs on the inhale, and when you exhale, you're audibly exhaling and thinking about the breath going to that shoulder blade area to help relax those muscles. Awesome. You guys are doing great. Okay, so again, after releasing that one, I just find doing a few of those backwards shoulder rolls and forwards just feels really good on the shoulder muscle area. And I don't know about you, but I'm feeling looser, right? And so that's the goal. Okay, this one is sort of a more getting the front part of the shoulders. So you can start here, where you basically are in a seated position with your knees bent up and you have both arms behind you. And you want to think about sort of pulling your shoulders down and back, your shoulder blades down and back. And you'll start to feel that stretch sort of on the front of your arm, your shoulder, biceps area. Now, if that's feeling comfortable and you want to add a little more, you can scoot your bum closer to your heels. Now you can see we increase that angle and you'll get more of a stretch, into the front of your arms. Keep breathing. All right, and then the last one is a wrist stretch, which I had never really done until probably like the last year or so, because I don't know, I guess your wrists are sort of a neglected area. People don't necessarily think about stretching their wrists that frequently. But if you're doing any kind of strength training where you're holding dumbbells on a regular basis, I know for me, like as a mom, sometimes carrying my kids around or even lugging around heavy grocery bags or bags with like library books, that sort of stuff, a lot of times I'll get tightness in my wrists and forearms that I didn't even know was there. So this one, you get into an all fours position and you want to turn your hands so your fingers are facing towards your knees. And if you just stay in this position where your shoulders and elbows and wrists are stacked in a line, that's kind of the most modified version. And it took me a while to kind of get into this because if you have never stretched your forearms in this way, they can be super tight. To advance it more, you basically just gently lean back. And I mean, it is subtle. We're talking an inch or two, and you'll start to feel how that definitely brightens up the stretch from the wrist to the forearm area. And then another thing you can do here is just kind of gently rock in a circle, which again just kind of moves around your arms in a way that it stretches out the muscle more completely. And then I would always, if you do that, you always want to switch directions. All right, so those are kind of some neck, upper body, wrist, all the things, stretches to help loosen up those muscles and get you feeling loose. So hopefully at the end of that, things are feeling a little looser. So I hope that was helpful. Definitely let me know in the comments if these type of demo videos are helpful, if you guys are trying them out, how they're working for you, all of that. So if you are somebody that's wanting to move more, or you're wanting to move at all, and you're just trying to figure out how to start, you want it to be simple, but you're trying to be consistent, you want to see physical and mental health wins, definitely head over to my website, which is drsaraionescu.com, where you can sign up for my free newsletter, which will have all this type of content in, plus more mindset stuff, all of that on a weekly basis. Also, if you're loving these demo videos, if you like the type of content that I'm creating, exercise-wise, mindset-wise, all of that, definitely subscribe here for more. I make these type of videos once a week, and then I'm also currently making a short if you head over to the short section, little quick snippets every single day. So I appreciate you all being here and watching. So imagine if you're somebody, say you're a new mom, you're breastfeeding, and you have neck pain and upper back pain. You don't need that going on in addition to everything else you have going on. Or you're somebody that's at work and you're constantly bent over your phone or your keyboard or whatever it is, and you struggle with neck issues. Imagine if in a few minutes a day, you were able to loosen up some of those muscles and help increase your flexibility and strengthen them. How much better would things be if you had less stiffness, less pain, and you felt stronger and more proud of yourself? Imagine what else could happen. Follow for more. Bye, everyone.